All right, y'all. Hello, welcome, good morning. How is everybody doing? Big smile if you're alive today and you're blessed with another day. Perfect. Yay, that's everybody. So my name is Kendra McMurphy. Good morning. Y'all want to talk AQ, right? Monday, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, right? Tuesday, Camden was sick. Today, we got a snow day. And a minute ago, they just came in and said, the entire basement's leaking. So my whole basement is flooding at the moment. So, but here is the most beautiful thing. I'm sure you're gonna hear like, nah, Camden wants to tell me about it. Hold on, buddy. So when we talk AQ, right? Have you guys ever heard of that? Adaptability quotient, right? It's literally the thing that a year ago in our business, in my personal business, like I would have been a train wreck right now, probably crying to Bryon Jaymes on the phone, like, I can't do it. All this is going on. And like, it's all good. So I say that just for a moment to kind of bring us all to a space where I know there are so many things going on in all of our lives collectively. When we show up here together, give yourself the gift of being present. Oh, I think we have a little unmute guy. Let me see. There we go. Okay. Give yourself the gift of being present regardless of the other things that are going on in your life, because you just never know what you may pick up today on this call from Bryon. It literally may change the entire trajectory of your life and your business. And it may be something that you take in that you can give to someone else that can change the entire trajectory of their life and their business. So with that being said, same time, same place, every single day. This is where we're at. So if you ever get a little bit confused or you need, I know a couple people are asking for phone numbers, and I will work on getting that with the Zoom link tomorrow. I'm not sure where to grab that from right here. So, but if anyone, they can always get on their phone. They can always, come on Zoom and have their video off. But it's same place, same time, same place every single day. So if you're brand new and today you're like, oh, I came on, day 3 or whatever, and you missed a couple other days and things maybe seem like a little bit like out of place, it's all good. You're going to take everything in and it's all going to make sense as you move forward on the journey. So regardless of how long you've been here, whether it's been a day, a week, a month, a year, 2 years, maybe you've been here 2 years and you're saying, well, I already know this. Do you know it so well that you can teach it to someone else with the utmost confidence? That you can transfer your competence, right? We talk about conscious competent, right? Like, so when you know something and you know it so well because you can do it and you've done it 100 times, the real 2-point pivot into leadership is when you can take that and teach it to someone else. So keep that all with you today as we move forward into this. The replays, I know a lot of people have been asking about the replays, theketomovement.com, www.ketomovement.com. It's going to take you right to the Keto Movement YouTube page. All of the replays will be there from these calls, okay? So with that being said, being present and allowing ourselves to get what we need from this call today, to be selfish and to get what we need, and to also be thinking of others and what we can give to them. Gratitude quote that I read this morning doing my gratitude was, the real gift of gratitude is the more grateful you are, the more present you become. So I want to start off today, and we're gonna keep this a little bit shorter today, but I want to start off today and just drop one thing in the comments that you are feeling grateful for this morning. I'm gonna do the same. I'm trying to type and read. The heat, healthy kiddos, life, Bryon's leadership, I agree. Bryon Underwood's vision, I second that. Good health, loving family, amazing friends, childcare for the twins, heck yeah. This opportunity, same. The thought of being in warm Phoenix next month, I am so with that, 100%. Warmer weather, willingness of this community to teach us to make our dreams come true. I love that. Healthy family, kids and mom, these are amazing. So do you see, do you guys actually physically feel that? How gratitude will literally bring you from wherever you are in your mind and all of the things that are going on, all of the illusions of our problems, and will just bring us back to this moment right here, right? So awesome. Cool, cool, cool. So let's kind of pivot just a little bit from there, because I think it ties so perfectly in together. Like, these things really go hand in hand. When we're grateful for what we have and we recognize the people who are locking arms with us and supporting our dreams. Like, do you guys realize that? Do you ever you're taking like 2 minutes and just stopped and realized, like, when you recognize someone on your team or you express gratitude, like, you're building dreams together with other people. Like, I get to build dreams with Katie Rollins. Like, literally, she sent Camden a book last night and we read it before bed and we were just giggling and laughing, and like it's gonna make me cry. Like, he was giggling so hard, and I was like, I wouldn't have her in my life if it wasn't for this business. So remember to recognize and show gratitude for the people who have given us the opportunities to just grow and expand our vision in our life and where we are and just everything. So it is pure happiness. You're right. So just for a second here, before we jump into the meat of our content today, which is going to be connection, 2 hands in the air if you're super excited to hear about the next step in ACE. Right? Attract, connect, and roll. So just drop in the comments 1 or 2 people that you want to recognize today, that you want to shout out. It can be for anything, for attracting. Maybe yesterday they took some big steps in reaching out to their A-list, right? Julia Burlack, Amanda Roger, Sarah Smith. Amanda Roger is a boss, y'all. Jamie Messina is amazing. Kayla Kelly, Ashley Dunlap, Samantha, Carson Collins, Melissa May for being an amazing leader, Kes, Nate Justice, Christy Jones, AQ, I love it, Jessica Burns for stepping past her excuses and showing up, Angel Higgins, Dot Ewing, oh gosh, you gotta be good at this reading fast, y'all, Kayla Kelly, Monica Cummings, Alexis Whalen for being the best mentor ever, Kristen Shoreland, Selena Price, Dana Murray, Casey Eisen, I hope y'all can read faster than I can, read faster than I can talk. Cindy Landry, awesome. Melissa Black, Kelly Jones. You guys are amazing. Look at this. This is so cool. Paul, yes, from Paul's Ketone 101. Did anybody catch that? Did anybody catch that last night? If you haven't watched it yet, we had family stuff going on, so we were in and out of being able to catch it, and I cannot wait to sit down today. I have gotten so many messages about how magical it was and just how powerful his story is. So if you haven't gotten a chance to check that out, I do believe the link for that is, and it was on my other notes, ketones101.com, right? Am I right, Bryon? He can confirm that. I'm about to hand it over here. So without further ado, Bryon, are you there? I have to unmute you. I always forget this. We're gonna get there though. I'm gonna find your face here in just a second. There you are. Hey.
Hi. I actually just to confirm, no, Ketones 101 will take you to my personal campfire video. So if you want to see it, cool too. But no, it's actually Ketone Questions.
That's it. There we go.
Questions.com.
There it is. I just typed it in the chat. So awesome. So we're all super pumped to hear about connection today and how we can take our businesses from ACE to attracting to connecting and moving on through the process. So I'm going to mute out and let you take over.
Beautiful. Awesome. Thank you so much, Kendra. And I greatly, greatly appreciate it. Once again, it's so awesome to be now on. Technically, I saw some of you labeling the numbers or whatever, and either way, it doesn't matter. But you know, we're 3 days into our 90-day Rhino run. If we count Monday as the time we needed to take to get our mind right and to be mentally prepared for the next 90 days. But in all seriousness, who is like literally you see, whether it be from your mindset, your attitude, your actions, and even maybe so far even into your results, how many of you are starting to see the fruit of keeping things simple and staying accountable through this process? Anybody? Okay, beautiful, awesome, amazing. So we're going to move on to the next piece of connection now. You know, what I want to tell you is how powerful this is and how powerful it is to work collectively as a team and the synergy that you can create with your team, because literally right before this call, I was on being coached by Katie Rollins. Yes, Katie is in my business. Katie's in my network. But you know what? Katie gave me some very valuable insights this morning that helped bring even more clarity to the table for this. So I can't tell you how important it is. If you have the ambition, if you have the vision to be a leader someday within your community, within your group, within your team, here's what I will tell you. There is no room for ego. Most importantly, there's no room for your ego. So I can't tell you how appreciative I am to Katie. And I just want to tell you transparently, it does not matter what rank you are, what rank you achieve, what level of income you achieve. You can always learn. And I will tell you this, As you ascend through achievement, 9 times out of 10, a majority of the things that you're going to really learn are going to come from down and not up. I promise you that. They're going to come from within. Because ultimately, I'm super excited, and all of you should be super excited about those people that come into your community that actually are even better than you. I cannot wait. My goal is to just have an entire team of people that are so much better than me. That's amazing, right? So I want you to get excited about the same thing. So we're going to move on to the connection piece. Now, remember, it doesn't matter where you're at in the process right now. And ultimately, even on the Rhino run, if you're brand new, if you just got started, today's your very first, and you're like, I'm catching this out of order, it's okay. Why? Because you're going to need to hear things in repetition. There's things, it's just like reading a book. What brings this to mind is reading the 10X book right now. I've literally read or listened to the book literally almost 10 times. 10 times. 10 times. Now remember, this is coming from a guy that never read or listened to a book even once until I was like 23 years old. So for me to listen or read anything in repetition it's a massive, it's a big win for me. But here's what's so crazy. Every time I reread a book or listen to an audiobook or whatever, I'm constantly picking up on things where I'm like, how in the hell did I not pick up on that the first time? How was that not just such a defining point? And here's the reason why. Because I grew. The book didn't change. The book was the same. The content was the same. But do you know what grew? I grew. My awarenesses are different. My experiences are different. There's so much to be gained in learning and hearing and experiencing things in repetition. That's how we master things. So with that being said, big piece of this now is the connection piece, right? So I'm going to stay foundational. I'm going to continue to stay foundational. Remember, the whole point of this is for you to be able to hear week in and week out from different achievers. And hopefully it starts to sink in after a while that, hey, listen, oh my God, we're all doing the exact same thing. The exact same thing. It's just that you're going to have different achievers that come on and they help you optimize different means of attraction, different means of connection. So one of the biggest points that I want to kind of set this up for everybody is the number one most important part of connection. And in my opinion, it's probably, I think, what is the X factor when it comes to how we operate our Pruvit business. And that is simply this. Because we are a company, and by the way, it was a really incredible distinction that I made yesterday. Jaymes Messina had me on a call with somebody that was looking at Pruvit and really very interested and you know, excited, but at the same time, she had some different options. She was looking at some things. And it really helped. It was a distinction for me that I really need to make sure, and we're probably most likely, this is going to be a lot of the content on Friday, is really helping you understand big picture, like what Pruvit's truly all about and what makes us so incredibly different from anyone and everyone else out there in the marketplace. So I'm really going to touch on that because that's a big distinction. And it's a big part of the foundation that I want to lay here for this 90-day run. So the big part of connection that I feel is the most important, and it's the understanding, and you have to get this into your mind, that your goal here is very simple. It is to be the messenger and not the message. Does anyone on here love watching? Also, I am obsessed with Viking shows and like kings and queens and medieval times. Does anyone else like that stuff? Do you love the movies and the show? I love them. I'm obsessed. I'm literally freaking obsessed. Now, if you've watched any type of medieval, you know, king battling king type of a thing, what do they always send to get the message across from one king to another? They send a messenger. They send a messenger. It's never the king talking to the other king. Never. Literally never. They always send a messenger. Now, here's what's so cool. And it's known in medieval times, this is an etiquette thing, that you can't attack the messenger. You can't, it's like the golden rule. Like, it's the messenger that's delivering the message, right? It's not even their own personal message. So you got to leave them alone. And here's what's cool is that it's the exact same process and thought process here, is that you are taking the resources that we make available through Pruvit. Now, understanding this, the ketone conversation, if you've ever tried to dive into the science and all the details or whatever, it's insanely overwhelming. There's individuals that have committed their entire life to understanding the ketone conversation, and they still probably, I bet you if you talk to Dr. Dominic D'Agostino, as they call him, the grandfather of ketones, is that he would still honestly tell you, hey, I'm maybe, and I've heard him say it from stage many times, maybe I'm 50% proficient when it comes to this conversation. He basically says there is so much more to learn. There's so much more to understand, right? So super important. We make resources available for you to be the messenger of the message. And there's a couple reasons why. Number one is that you don't have to know anything to be a messenger, right? You see it back in the old movie. So Kent, what do you want me to tell him? So you need to tell him that if he doesn't do this, I am going to attack his city and I'm going to cut off his wife's head, right? Or whatever, right? I'm gonna kill all of I'm gonna kill his firstborn son if he doesn't do X, Y, and Z. Now, could you think about yourself as a messenger like, oh my God, I'm supposed to deliver that message to somebody else, right? This is, okay. And you go and you deliver the message, and while that person may be pissed or however they may take it, it may be a good message, bad message, it doesn't matter. Hey, you ever heard the term, hey, I'm just the messenger. I'm just the messenger. That's all I am. Don't rip my head off. I'm just a messenger. So that's the same point here, is you're taking all the validation, all the resources, all of the tools that we make available, right? So if you look at kind of a foundational baseline as you move into, for those of you, by the way, give me a big thumbs up if you are committed to Epic and our very first ever playbook event. Beautiful. So what you will see is the baseline of connection is going to be things like the product and the product knowledge. It's going to be the specialists, right? The individuals that are the experts that have committed their lives to understanding this conversation. Our Inspire On videos, the Campfire video, which is going to be the one that I really foundationally hit on today. But if you don't first understand this, because some of you, I know you, I'm looking around here, I see, the Abigails and the Nate Justice, and who else do I see on here? Even Alexis Brady could probably fall into that category, meaning y'all have some experience in and around health, wellness, fitness, all that type of stuff. And it's very easy for you guys to want to, hey, I'm going to try to be the messenger here, but very much you kind of like want to become the king and queen yourself, and you want to be the message. Now, here's what I will tell you. The more you become the message, or the more you get sucked into from the person that you're delivering the message to becoming the message, what you're ultimately doing, while then and there, you may get your point across, you may transact, you may break through, it will stop with you. What do I mean by that? The more you become the message versus the messenger, the message will stop with you. Why? Because if that person ever has any interest in sharing that message with someone else, they will feel disempowered because they don't know as much as you, they're not as smart as you, they don't look like you. You are ultimately stopping the multiplication that you want to create. Why? And that's what's so powerful about this. Could you imagine if you wanted to be the message, we'd have to get on and you guys would be like, hey, listen, if you want to sign up and prove it, you can, but you can't transact for at least 3 years. Why? Because we need to teach you class by class over the next 3 years to understand all the ins and outs, all of the knowledge, the education, the experience. We got to try to get as much of that into you as humanly possible. And then you know what? 3 years later, 4 years later, 6 years later, 8 years later, then you can share that message with people. Now, ultimately, guess what? If you want then for them to go out and share that message with people, they got to go back to school for 3 years, 6 years, 8 years. That's not what we want. We are just the messenger. We're connecting people to the message that we have, to the ketone conversation in and of itself, right? Give me a big thumbs up if this is making sense. This is super important. This is the foundation, because I will tell you, the more you want to try to be an expert, the more you want to try to be the message, all you're doing is slowing down the growth that you ultimately all want to have. Super, super important. So back to it. Let's talk about the number one resource we talked about yesterday, attraction. For me, I'm just giving you the foundation of where Bryon got started, and ultimately it's turned out pretty good for me. And that was simply asking the question, hey, what do you know about ketones and ketosis? Give me a fist bump in the chat if you executed on the call to action that was given yesterday at the end of the call, meaning that you found 5 people in your, what we defined as an A-list, and you asked them that very simple question. Beautiful. Look at all these responses. Amazing. So the next point and the most foundational point of connection is this, the campfire video. Now, let me kind of help you understand this campfire video. Now, if you watch it more than 5 times consecutively, you may start to say, that may be the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. You're like, it's a cartoon, it's dumb, it's whatever. But I will tell you this, I've talked to brain surgeons. I've talked to some of the most brilliant people in the world, and the first thing they tell me, oh my gosh, why have I not explained ketosis? Why have I not explained it that simply, right? Literally, they key in on it and understand this, the dynamics and the elements of the campfire video, energy, fat loss, focus. Why are those the 3 things that they highlight when there's all these other incredible benefits? Here's the reason why. Because when it comes to web searches, now we had somebody that was an absolute expert at attracting and connecting people to very popular conversations, if you will. And based on his research, the 3 most highly searched topics, if you will, as it pertains to health was energy, fat loss, and focus. Energy, fat loss, and focus. Why? Because most people that have issue XYZ, 9 times out of 10, those things all come back to the root of energy, fat loss, or focus. Now, what's cool is as I mentioned, we do have other resources for you to get very granular and very specific on the needs of the individual you're having this conversation with, i.e. the specialist videos and what have you. Now, we're gonna highlight and we're gonna talk about how you can maximize those connection resources in the up and coming weeks. This is a process. We're not gonna, I promise you, the more we give you at one time, the less you'll do. You'll get what's called analysis paralysis. Well, if there's too many options, what do? We do nothing. That's not what we want. We want things to be simple. So already in 2 days, you ask a freaking question and now you connect them to the most foundational resource whatsoever. It doesn't matter who I'm talking to. I still, to this day, I meet with people constantly. I met with a group of people last week. Half of them had seen the campfire video. The other half had not. I'm like, listen, go watch the campfire video. I don't want to continue to have this conversation until you have a foundational understanding of our technology and how it works. Don't, and now here's what's funny. You watch it 5 times in a row and you're like, this is ridiculous. If you haven't watched it for 6 months, for all of you that haven't watched the campfire video recently, you need to go back and watch it because you're like, oh my God, what have I been doing? What you've been doing is you've started to become unknowingly and unconsciously the damn message, and you don't want to be. I only speak this to you because I am the most guilty person and maybe all of Pruvit for doing this. I have to check myself constantly because yes, I can sit on a plane with somebody and literally spend, if it's a 3-hour flight, I can talk to them for 3 hours and 10 minutes about ketones. And you know what? They're going to buy ketones when they're done. I guarantee it. With my expertise and understanding about this conversation, with my background, I would literally be able to sell them. But here's the problem. It stops with them. It stops with that transaction. And if I just wanted to transact one time, I'd be in a different business. I would not be here. I want replication. I want that person to be confident and inspired about what they saw and the resource they have to be able to share it over and over and over and over and over again. This is incredibly important, right? Now, second, and I'm going to give you this as a fallback. Why? Because for some of you, you're advanced. Remember, mastery is focused, purposeful practice with intention on your outcome of 10,000 hours. 10,000 hours. Most people, you can't even comprehend 10,000 hours. Some people have never actually committed to 10,000 hours to mastery in anything. Why? Because we jump around too much. We want instant gratification. We want things to happen immediately. And we are unwilling to become masters. And then here's what we do. We blame, shame, and justify 10 years later why we're not a master at anything. And we ultimately criticize and we talk down upon those that did stick with and did commit to mastery in something, because now they are what you could have been. You're seeing what you could have been if you stuck with something. So With that being said, we're all in a different place here. We're all at a different place of this industry, this company, and you in and of yourself. So the ultimate connection piece, the fallback, if you will, is the person that you're working with, your coach, the person that's further down the road than you are. Why? Because we all truly need some good C1. If you haven't taken someone through attraction and connection, sometimes you just need help. You need directive beyond even what I'm telling you here. You need a personal touch. Everybody here has a coach. Everyone here has somebody that's further down the road. Now, you may have to drop your ego to find them, but every one of you have them. And here's the reason why I know that, because every one of you are in my network. So there's somewhere at some point you have someone. You have someone. I promise you that. And that's your ultimate fallback for connection, to where you just may need to hear it, see it, and you should. That should be a big part of it. Your first experience with attraction, connection, and enrollment or experience should be with the person that is helping you, the person that is identified as your coach helping you along the way. Super, super important. Now, that is as simple, and this is a whole different skill set of connecting the person you're starting to have the attractive conversation of ketones with to the person that is a little further down the road, somebody that's a circle of champions, somebody that's a rising champ, somebody that's just in the mix and a little further down the road that can validate and bring clarity and simplicity to the conversation that you're currently having. And ultimately, for some of you, to keep you from becoming the message and help you to stay on track of becoming the messenger. So my point is even if Bryan's on a plane, even if I've got a lot of time, I will ask them the question, I'll hear some feedback, and I'll say, hey, tell you what, I'll send you a quick video. It's 4.5 minute video. Watch it and let me know if it makes sense. Now, here's what's crazy. When they respond, as I talked about yesterday, to, hey, I know nothing, I know everything, I'm confused on what ketosis is, or hey, I'm an expert at ketosis. My response is the same every single time. Fantastic, great. I'm gonna send you a quick 4-minute video. Will you watch it and let me know if it makes sense? If I send you a quick 4-minute video, will you watch it, let me know if it makes sense? It's getting buy-in from them, so you're not telling them, but it's, hey, will you? If I send you a quick 4-minute video, will you watch it, let me know if it makes sense? That's where I stay. And then I will create another point of connection, another point of connection, another point of connection, another point of connection, until I get them to the point of experience and enrollment. Now remember, you're still in a filter. The campfire video is still a filter. Remember, it's still a filter. You're not looking for, remember, it's still going to define for you who is now, who is later, and who is never. That is super important. So don't look at it as I'm failing or I'm not getting a positive response. No, you're filtering. You're filtering. It's expected. It's 1,000,000% expected. It doesn't matter how much credibility, how much success I have around this. I still today am filtering people constantly. Why? Because I am only willing to commit to somebody who's willing to commit to me, whether it be from a customer or a promoter standpoint, it does not matter. So very quickly here, wrapping up. Other points of connect. Now I want to talk about literally what we did yesterday. I want to use this as an example. Abigail Klutz hit me up early this morning and said, you know what's so cool is that I used yesterday's recording as a connection piece for those that have already been existing in my business, maybe with low commitment, maybe with no commitment, what have you. And by literally using that piece, so instead of her telling people what to do, she used a different face, a different voice with the exact same message, and she used that as a point of connection. And now what's so crazy, as using that resource, she's already drummed up more action, more activity from those with low to no commitment than they have shown yet, right? So there's so many things we can do and use as a resource. Now she could have made the determination that, hey, I'm going to take everything Bryan said and I'm going to say it myself. Or she could use the resource, which is now a third-party resource with an outside person, and using that now to engage as another resource and a point of connection. So remember that too. The things that we're creating right now, you can use as another piece of connection. All right. So lastly, let's wrap up with this, because tomorrow we're going to move into experience and enrollment. So this is super foundational. Like I said, I'm already excited because I know who's going to be delivering the attraction and the connection pieces and just ways to absolutely optimize what you're doing no matter where you're at. You're literally going to get it from the top achievers in all of Pruvit. And literally, I mean, I'm super, super excited for you guys to be able to start to learn this stuff from the absolute best of the best. Current credibility, those that have absolutely crushed achievement here in Pruvit. So that's what's tomorrow. But for today, here's what I want you to very simply do. Here is your simple call to action, is that those 5, so we're going to double down today, right? So I want you to redo what you did yesterday. So now 5 is going to become 10. And what that's going to do is it's going to give us a bigger foundation, because 9 times out of 10, you probably were 5 for 5 on your responses yesterday. They filtered out some laters and some nevers. Your questions yesterday most likely filtered out some laters and some nevers. So we're going to add another 5 today. And then we are going to be intentional about, hey, fantastic. Your response, no matter what their response is great. If I send you a quick 4-minute video, will you watch it and let me know if it makes sense? That's it. That's it. And I want you to do that 5 times. Or in this case, whatever the foundation of 10 gives you an opportunity to do, that's what I want you to execute on with the campfire video. For those of you that are still feeling a little bit not as confident, if you will, but understand, if you're not feeling confident right now, you're overthinking it and you're getting in your own head. Get out of your head. Get out of your head. Give the phone to your son or your daughter or your husband and say, hey, pick 5 random people and ask them this question. Why? Because what you'll do is you'll go through and prejudge everybody. Oh, I don't want to do them. I don't. Prejudgment is the absolute downfall of most people. I will tell you that in life, period, not just here, but in life. Do not prejudge people, because I promise you, you'll never get what you think you're going to get. Just stop prejudging, close your eyes, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go, and send that sucker, right? So another 5 attractions today, and I want you to use the campfire video as connection. For those of you that need a little extra support, I want you to connect those in which you have created the attraction with to your coach, the person that you need a little bit of validation from, you need a little bit of just flat out help. It's okay to ask for help, people. It is okay. You do not have to go it alone. This is a team. This is a team, right? This is not an army of one. This is a freaking team. This is a team. So I want you to leverage the individuals that are going to support you along the way. Super, super important. So do we have what our call to action is? It's very, very simple. I know it's very simple, but do me a big favor. Acknowledge me with a thumbs up in the chat if you are going to, and you're committed to another 5 questions in connection to the resource, which is the campfire video on whatever that foundation creates. Beautiful. And then tomorrow we're going to hack into experience and enrollment, and we're going to continue to keep this party going. So with that, everyone, have a great rest of your day. You're amazing. And I'm going to turn it back over to Kendra.
All right, that was absolutely awesome. The simplicity, this is like the best week ever, just bringing it back to simple. So exactly like we were talking about at the beginning, to like wrap it all around, whether you're brand new day 1 on this call for the first time, or you've been doing this for 1.5 years, 2 years, bringing it back to that simplicity of just sending that. And I don't know if you guys caught that question. I want to highlight that again before we stop. Is like, hey, does this make sense to you? I'm telling you, that's the most powerful question. And they're like, yeah, of course, because it makes sense to everybody. So Bryon, that was freaking awesome. I'm so excited to step into some action. 2 hands up if you're totally committed to taking action and activity when we get off this call. Awesome. Cannot wait to see y'all's faces tomorrow. Give yourself a lot of credit for showing up today. Make sure you send this replay out to somebody. That YouTube link, again, just to reiterate, if I can find my notes. Oh, I'm a hot mess. Can someone pop that YouTube link down there? Ketone movement, right? Yes, there we go. Keto movement. Just kidding. I put the wrong one. Bryon put the right one. KetoMovement.com. The replays will be there for our teams. You all have an absolutely wonderful day, and this call is officially a wrap. Yes.